So you guys, I know a lot of you have seen my growing onions indoors. So I purchased these green onions at the store. We're going to put these outside in containers this time. I have seen some awesome results from other gardeners that have grown these outdoors, and I know we are in August now. I think it's a good time to maybe do some fall stuff, and I'm going to be putting some of these in containers, and we're going to see what we get from them. So all I'm going to do today is cut these off just like so, and then I will take and freeze these, or you can dry them, but I prefer the freeze method. It's quick, and I pull these out for soups and stuff, and it just works really good. So I'm going to be cutting them down. I see a lot of variations, but I'm going to be cutting them down about like so. The onion to be about like an inch or so. I've seen people do them even shorter, and they've also grown. So, you know, it's just up to you what you want to do. So we're just going to do this, and we're going to plant them outdoors, so come along with me, and let's do it. Okay, so I cut, this is the ones that are going to be planted out in the containers. The rest I'm just going to slice and put away in the freezer. And they work so great in the freezer, because when you put these in, all you got to do is throw them in a freezer bag. And when you freeze them, they do not freeze together. And if they do just slightly, all you got to do is just crumble them up a little bit, and they'll come apart. So you can kind of pick, you can kind of get what you need out of it. I'll show you right now what I'm talking about. Can you see these? These are frozen already. Check it out. These are some I done earlier. But look at, all I got to do there is grab in the bag, throw them in whatever dishes I want to, and we're good to go. So the next step is finishing this, and we're going outside. Alright, I'm going to show you the finished product. Look at that. Over and over again, we can make onion greens from these guys right here. This isn't anything new, but I want to show you that I can do it. And I can grow some really nice ones outdoors. You can do this indoors also. It's a great project for winter. Before we go out and plant them, I'm going to rehydrate them for a half an hour to an hour. Then we're good to go. Okay, so we're going to be planting the green onions. And I'm going to be doing a couple different things here. I'm going to try to plant them in this cinder blocks, these concrete blocks. And I don't know how they're going to do. We're going to have one with just straight peat perlite peat mix, and the next one's going to be half and half compost and the peat and bark mix. Okay, peat, perlite, and bark mix. Now remember, these are the green onions you get at the store. Okay, I'm just going to be planting one each here, so you can just kind of get the idea. I love the look of this one a lot better with the compost. But I want to see if it really going to make a difference. I'm going to fill them way up to the top, maybe a little bit more, because this will settle in once we get some rain, or when I water them in, which it looks like we might get some rain today. Gosh, we need it. Let's hope so. So, I had these in the water for quite some time. I actually wanted to plant them yesterday, and I didn't get it done. And just overnight, they got there's some little onions already coming out. But you just want to plant these shallow. Onions don't like to be buried. So just get the roots in the ground, and maybe a half an inch or so. And this ain't no exact science, so don't bury them too deep. Just enough. Hopefully my cats will leave these alone. I'm going to put 3 in each square. And we'll see which one does the best. Okay, we got those done. Now let me finish up and we'll come back. Okay, we got these all planted. Now the depth of them is the size of a cinder block, which is what, about 8 inches deep or so. And I think these will do pretty good. We'll just see. Now onions they can handle it more on the dry side. That's why I thought the cinder blocks would do better. And we got somebody here that wants to help. I hope they don't knock my onions over. You little stinker, get out of there. Come on. Come on, out. Anyway, I'm going to water these in now. And then I'll update you here in a couple days on how they're doing. So I have these nice and close to where I water every day. This will be great to just keep an eye on them right here. All right, I'll keep you updated. Stay tuned. Don't miss this now, guys. We'll see how they do. There's the peat, perlite, and bark soil, and here's the half and half compost and the peat and perlite and bark soil. So we'll see which one does best. Hi everyone, I'm just going to give you an update on the onions I planted outdoors on the 23rd, I believe. Right now they're doing really good. As you can see, these are the ones in the compost, and these are the ones in the mix of the compost and the peat, perlite, and bark mix. And they look pretty good. Now the ones over here, it was just a regular mix. I think they look about the same. So far, they're growing really nice. It's only been, let's see, today is the 28th of August. Hasn't been real long, and we've gotten a good rain on them, and they're doing really well. So that's the update, and I'll just keep you updated as they grow. I'm probably going to leave these in here a while. I want them to get a nice stalk on them, so I'll have plenty of onion here, green onion to cut off to use in my cooking. I'll water these in good today, and you know they dry out much faster in these cinder blocks, but that's okay because onions can handle that. Hey guys and gals, today was September 18th. I wanted to give you an update on the onions I planted in the cinder blocks, and you know I planted some in compost and the perlite mix, the pro mix. Watch out, sweetie. And the other one was just a straight pro mix, which is peat, perlite, and some bark. It looks to me like the one in the straight pro mix is growing taller. So the one with the compost is a little bit slower growing. So I'm just going to measure a couple of them here because I don't think I'm going to cut them yet. If I cut these now, they'll just regrow, which is why they're so great to grow the green onions for the tops. They just do so good in cooking. 10 to 11 inches. Some aren't even that tall, but you know what? They're growing pretty good. These cinder blocks, they're going to grow differently in these because of they dry out more so, but also the onions don't mind that. These over here aren't near as big. They really aren't. So, and they're getting pretty much the same lighting. So, you know, I don't know what to say about that. You know, I wanted to try the compost to see if it would produce some really nice larger ones. But so far, it's pretty close even. But I think these guys with just a pro mix have got the advantage right now. And don't they look good? They got 3 of the green tops with a 4th one coming on some. And I think I'm just going to leave them. I'm not going to cut them, but I could cut them at this time and then use them and freeze them, but I'm just going to let them get a little bigger around, and we're getting cooler now here in the fall, and I'm just going to let them go because they don't mind the cooler temps. So that was kind of the update on it. Working great. I don't see a lot of difference in the different soil mixes, but they're growing, and they're green, and they look healthy, so that's a plus. I just wanted to share the update with you. They've been growing quite a while. They're not as big as if I would have been planting in the ground. I think they'd be a little bigger. But I wanted to try the cinder blocks. Thinking about making some cinder block beds, but I'm not sure I'll do it anymore because it looks like we used quite a few for our remodeling on our house. So I probably won't have them now. So that's okay. Anyway, it works. If you have some cinder blocks laying around, go ahead and use them for some of your crops that do not require as much moisture. The onions will do fine, you know, and I have like 3 in each one, sometimes 4. So if they're kind of using up the soil pretty well, And if I would have maybe only put a couple in there, it might have been produced a little bit differently, but that's all I had, and that's what I use. So I hope sharing that with you will inspire you to go to your grocery store and get some green onions and cut them and use your green onions, and then replant that bulb, put them in here, and you'll see how nicely they do. Now I can do this several times now, and I think they might produce a little smaller as it goes, but you know, I haven't done it outside. Indoors it did it that way. It produced them a little slower and a little smaller at probably the third or fourth time, but still it produced. So it's something to say if you want something that's going to regrow for you, reproduce some food for you for your seasonings. These green onions work really great. So that's about it. Thanks you guys for watching today and tuning in to my planting my green onions outdoors. I hope you enjoyed. Comment, questions, just ask, and we'll talk to you on the next one. Bye.